I came to my mother-in-law's house to pick up my kids and husband, but what I heard changed everything. Emily Carter had everything. A husband who once promised she was his entire world, 2 beautiful children, and a career that made her the envy of every woman at the country club. But in one single night, everything crumbled when she overheard the conversation she was never meant to hear. What would you do if you discovered your husband not only betrayed you, but used your name to commit a crime? This isn't just a story about infidelity. It's about finding strength when the world expects you to stay quiet. Are you ready to discover what Emily did? Watch until the end. The twist will blow your mind. You're being paranoid. Stop overthinking everything. That's what Emily Carter had told herself that morning, just hours before her world imploded. The kitchen buzzed with controlled chaos. Mason's sticky fingerprints decorated the fridge. Sophie's half-eaten toast lay abandoned on the counter, and somewhere between the spilled orange juice and scrambled eggs, Emily tried to salvage what remained of her sanity. "Ryan," she called toward the bedroom, her voice strained with exhaustion. "Remember, you're doing school drop-off today." Silence. "Ryan!" A muffled groan emerged from behind the door, followed by the hiss of the shower. 8 years of marriage, and her husband still treated basic responsibilities like Olympic-level challenges. Emily turned back to the disaster zone that was breakfast, her tablet propped precariously against the coffee machine as she reviewed quarterly projections. The European investor presentation was in 2 hours, the one that could secure her promotion to senior vice president. "Mommy, I can't find my rocket ship," Mason wailed from the living room, his 5-year-old voice reaching frequencies that could shatter glass. Sophie appeared in the doorway, wise beyond her 7 years. "It's under the couch, dummy." "Don't call your brother dummy," Emily said automatically, not looking up from her screen. "But he is being dumb. He loses everything." "Sophie." "Fine. Sorry, Mason." Ryan finally emerged, hair still damp, wearing the cologne Emily bought him last Christmas, the one he said made him feel like a real businessman. He headed straight for the coffee pot. "Morning to you too," Emily muttered. He poured the last cup without offering any. "What?" "Nothing." She bit back her irritation. "Pick your battles, Emily." "Mum, why can't you take us today?" Mason appeared at her elbow, chocolate-brown eyes, so like his father's, pleading with her. Emily knelt beside him, guilt twisting her heart. "Because Mommy has a very important meeting. But I promise I'll be home for bedtime and we'll finish that pirate story." "You said that yesterday." The accusation stung. "I know, sweetheart. But tonight for sure." Ryan grabbed a piece of toast, checking his phone. "Kids, let's move it. I've got that client pitch at 9. "Which means you'll be late picking them up," Emily said, unable to keep the edge from her voice. "I'll figure it out, like you figured it out last week when Sophie had to wait an hour in the rain." His jaw clenched. "Here we go. Always keeping score, aren't you?" "It's not about score. It's about reliability." "Says the woman who's missed 3 bedtimes this week." The words hung between them like a drawn sword. Emily straightened, forcing her professional mask into place. "Sophie has art class right after lunch. Don't forget." Yeah. She kissed both children goodbye, Mason clinging a moment longer than usual. As she grabbed her keys, she caught Ryan watching her with an expression she couldn't read. "What?" she asked. "Nothing, just you look tired." "Gee, thanks." "That's not what I meant. I have to go." She was already at the door. "Please don't be late for pickup." The drive to Harrison and Associates gave Emily 20 minutes to transform from frazzled mother to corporate warrior. She applied lipstick at red lights, mentally rehearsing her presentation, compartmentalizing the morning's chaos into a locked box marked "Deal with Later." The glass tower rose before her like a beacon of order and control, her sanctuary where problems had solutions and success was measurable. "Morning, Emily." Lily, her assistant, fell into step beside her. European investors are already in conference room A. I've set up the projections, and there's fresh coffee, the good stuff, not the break room swamp water. You're a lifesaver, Lily. That's why you pay me the big bucks. Lily grinned. Well, medium bucks, small to medium. Emily smiled, her first genuine one of the day. After this deal closes, we'll talk about those big bucks. The moment she entered the boardroom, Emily transformed. Her shoulders straightened, her voice gained authority, her presence commanded attention. This was her element. Gentlemen, ladies, thank you for joining us today. What I'm about to show you isn't just an investment opportunity. It's the future of sustainable technology in the American market. She moved through her presentation with practiced precision, fielding questions with expertise, watching their skepticism transform into interest. She was brilliant. She was unstoppable. Her phone buzzed. She ignored it. Protocol demanded focus, but the second buzz made her glance down. Riverside Elementary. Her stomach clenched. "Please excuse me for one moment," she said smoothly, maintaining her professional facade. "In the hallway," she answered. "Emily Carter speaking." "Mrs. Carter, this is Nurse Patricia at Riverside. Mason's running a fever, 101.3. He needs to go home immediately." "Have you contacted his father?" "We did. He said he was in an important meeting and couldn't leave." "Of course he did. I'll make arrangements immediately." Emily hung up and dialed Ryan. He answered on the third ring, voices laughing in the background. "Mason's sick. 101 fever. You need to get him." "Babe, I told you I can't. This meeting is about my promotion." "Your son is sick, Ryan. He's asking for you. He's asking for you. Kids always want their moms when they're sick. That's not the point. Look, either you handle it or call my mother. I gotta go." The line went dead. Emily stared at her phone, anger and hurt warring in her chest. She dialed Margaret Carter's number with trembling fingers. Margaret answered with customary coolness. "Emily, to what do I owe the pleasure?" "Mason's sick at school. Ryan won't pick him up. Could you possibly—" "Of course he won't." The disdain was palpable. "I suppose I'll have to pick him up. Someone needs to prioritize these children." The barb landed exactly where intended. "Thank you, Margaret. I'll come get them as soon as—" "No need. They can stay the night. I'll make sure they're properly cared for." Emily returned to the boardroom, her mask firmly in place. She delivered the rest of her presentation flawlessly, even earning rare praise from Mr. Harrison, but her mind kept drifting to Mason's feverish face, to Sophie waiting at school, to the growing chasm in her marriage. "Excellent work, Emily," Mr. Harrison said afterward. "I think we've got them hooked." "Thank you, sir. You all right? You seem distracted." "Just parent stuff. You know how it is." He chuckled. "Indeed I do. 4 kids taught me that boardrooms are easy. It's the living rooms that are battlefields." Back in her office, Emily slumped in her chair. The adrenaline crash hit hard, leaving her drained. She should feel victorious. The presentation went perfectly. Instead, she felt empty. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Emily Carter speaking. "Mrs. Carter, this is Daniel Brooks from Capital Trust Bank. I'm calling to confirm your co-signature on the $300,000 business loan." The room tilted. "I'm sorry, what?" "Your husband, Ryan Carter, listed you as primary guarantor. The loan was approved 3 days ago. I just need to verify some details. I didn't sign anything." Her voice came out strained. "I haven't even heard about any business venture." Silence on the other end. Then, carefully, "The signature on file is notarized. Perhaps you should speak with your husband. Send me the documents, now." "Mrs. Carter, now!" Emily's hands shook as she opened the email. There it was, her signature clear as day, on documents she'd never seen. The loan was for a company called RC Enterprises, Ryan's initials. Ice flooded her veins. This wasn't just betrayal. This was fraud. She dialed Ryan again. He answered immediately, irritation clear in his voice. "Emily, I'm in the middle of—" Why did Capital Trust Bank just call about a loan with my name on it? Dead silence. Ryan. "Look, I was going to tell you. It's not what you think. You forged my signature. It's an investment for our future. I'm starting my own consulting firm. You committed fraud with my name. You're overreacting. Once this takes off, you risked our entire financial future without even telling me? Because I knew you'd react like this. You never support my dreams, Emily. It's always about your career, your success. Don't you dare turn this around on me. You stole from me, Ryan. You used me. I'm trying to build something here, to be more than just Emily Carter's husband. And you thought crime was the answer?" He sighed dramatically. "It's not crime when it's family. The loan will be paid back once—" "Once what? Once your imaginary business succeeds?" "It's not imaginary. I have investors lined up, big names, people who believe in me, unlike my own wife." Emily felt the ground shifting beneath her feet. This wasn't the man she married. This wasn't the father of her children. "We'll discuss this tonight," she said coldly. "I'm staying at Mom's tonight, remember? Team-building dinner with the partners." Convenient. "Emily," she hung up. That evening, Emily drove through Newton's tree-lined streets toward Margaret's pristine colonial. Her mother-in-law's house stood like a monument to old money and older judgments, perfectly manicured lawn, precisely trimmed hedges, not a blade of grass out of place. All the lights were on, unusual for Margaret, who religiously conserved energy. As Emily pulled into the driveway, she heard voices through an open window. Multiple voices, laughter, the clink of glasses. Team-building dinner, her ass. She could hear Ryan's voice, louder than usual, probably on his third scotch. The porch light clicked on before she could knock. Emily. Margaret stood in the doorway, pearl necklace catching the light. "You're early." "The presentation ended sooner than expected. How's Mason?" "Sleeping. The fever broke an hour ago." "Thank God. And Sophie?" "Reading in the guest room." Margaret's eyes narrowed, though she did ask why Daddy's friend Chloe sent him so many heart emojis. Emily's blood chilled. "What?" She saw his phone at dinner. Children notice everything, you know. Before Emily could respond, Ryan appeared behind his mother. His tie was loosened, cheeks flushed, eyes slightly glassy. "Em, you're here!" He attempted a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "How'd the presentation go?" "Fine." She looked past him. "How's your team building dinner?" He laughed too loudly. "Oh, that got pushed to next week. Just having drinks with some colleagues." "Which colleagues?" "You wouldn't know them." Margaret made a disgusted sound and disappeared into the house. "Can I come in? Check on the kids?" "They're sleeping." Ryan blocked the doorway. "No point waking them." "Ryan, we'll talk tomorrow, okay? When cooler heads prevail." "Cooler heads? You forged my—" "Shh!" He glanced nervously behind him. "Not here. Not now." "Who's in there, Ryan?" "Just some people from work." "People named Chloe?" His face went white. "How did you—" "Sophie saw my phone. It's nothing. She's just a colleague." "A colleague who sends heart emojis? Emily, you're being paranoid." That word again. Paranoid. The same word he'd used when she questioned late nights, mysterious charges, the distance growing between them. "I want to see my children." "They're fine. Let them sleep." "Ryan, go home, Emily. We'll sort this out tomorrow." He shut the door. Her own husband shut the door in her face. Emily stood there, rage and hurt warring in her chest. Through the window she could hear voices resuming, Ryan's fake laugh, a woman's giggle. She walked back to her car, but couldn't bring herself to leave. Her children were in there. Her husband was in there with God knows who. Her life was crumbling, and she was being told to go home like a dismissed employee. That's when she heard it. The side window was cracked open, voices drifting out clear as day. She shouldn't eavesdrop. It was beneath her. But then she heard her name. Emily doesn't need to know everything, Ryan was saying. She pressed against the wall, heart hammering. Margaret's response was sharp. Hiding it won't make it disappear. What happens when she finds out about Chloe? Emily's blood turned to ice. She knew. His mother knew. She won't find out. Ryan's voice was slurred but confident. Em's too busy with work to notice anything. You're playing with fire, son. I'm taking control of my life. Do you know what it's like being married to someone who out-earns you, outshines you, out-everything's you? So you thought having an affair would even the score. Affair. The word hit Emily like a physical blow. It's not just an affair. Ryan's voice turned defensive. Chloe understands me. She sees my potential. Her uncle runs the regional division. With her support, I'm guaranteed that promotion. You think sleeping your way to success makes you a better man? It makes me a man who matters. You know how Emily is. She controls everything, makes more money, calls all the shots. I'm tired of being the +1 at her corporate events, tired of being Emily Carter's husband. So you forged her signature and jumped into bed with the first woman who batted her eyes at you? You make it sound so crude. Chloe and I have a connection, a real partnership, not like this arrangement I have with Emily. Arrangement. 8 years, 2 children, reduced to an arrangement. And the loan, Margaret pressed. That's my seed money, my chance to build something without Emily's shadow. RC Enterprises will be huge, Mom. Chloe's already got 3 major clients lined up through her contacts, built on fraud and adultery. How noble. Built on opportunity, something Emily would never understand. She's too busy being perfect to see what I need. Emily's knees shook. She gripped the windowsill to stay upright. The children, Margaret started. We'll be fine. Kids are resilient. Besides, once the divorce is final, I'll have joint custody. Chloe's great with kids. Divorce. He was already planning their divorce. You haven't even told her about Chloe. I'm waiting for the right time, after my promotion's secure, after the business is running, when I'm no longer just the house husband who picks up her dry cleaning. Emily had heard enough. She walked back to her car on trembling legs, each step careful and measured. She wouldn't cry, not here, not where they could see. In her car, Emily gripped the steering wheel until her knuckles went white. Her mind raced through 8 years of marriage, searching for signs she'd missed. Late nights at the office, weekend golf games that ran long. The way he'd grown distant in bed, claiming stress. Her phone buzzed. Rachel, her best friend. How'd the presentation go? Celebration drinks? Emily stared at the text. How could she explain that while she was conquering boardrooms, her husband was planning their divorce with his mistress? She drove home in a daze. The house felt different now, tainted. Their wedding photos mocked her from the mantel. The throw pillows she'd carefully selected seemed to whisper, "Fool." In her home office, Emily pulled up their financial records. The mystery charges suddenly made sense. Expensive dinners she'd never attended, hotel bookings during his supposed golf weekends, jewelry purchases that never graced her neck. How long had she been the clueless wife, too busy with spreadsheets to see her marriage crumbling? She opened her laptop and began documenting everything, screenshots, bank statements, the forged loan documents. If Ryan wanted war, she'd give him one. Her phone rang. Rachel again. Em, you never answered? Everything okay? Emily broke. The tears came in waves as she told Rachel everything. That bastard, Rachel hissed. I'm coming over. No, I need to think. You need wine and someone to plot revenge with. I'll be there in 20. True to her word, Rachel arrived with 2 bottles of wine and a fierce loyalty that made Emily cry harder. We need a plan, Rachel said, pouring generous glasses. First, you need a lawyer. I can't believe this is happening. Believe it, and get mad. That asshole used you, cheated on you, and had the balls to shut the door in your face. Emily took a shaky sip. The kids will be fine. Kids need a happy mom, not a fake marriage. He's already planning the divorce, already introducing Chloe as their future stepmother. Rachel's eyes blazed. Over my dead body. I don't even know who Chloe is. Just some woman who sends heart emojis and apparently has an uncle who can advance Ryan's career. A social climber screwing another social climber. How poetic. Emily managed a weak smile. What do I do? First, we secure evidence. Then, we get the kids. Then, we destroy him. Rachel, legally, of course, but thoroughly. They spent the next hour strategizing. Emily would return in the morning for the children. She'd contact a lawyer. Rachel knew someone brilliant and ruthless. She'd protect her assets, freeze the accounts Ryan had access to. And the company gala? Rachel asked. That's tomorrow night. Emily had forgotten. Harrison and Associates' annual celebration, the one where Ryan would be schmoozing for his promotion. A thought struck her. He'll be there, with her. Probably. Emily set down her wineglass, a new determination filling her. Then I'll be there too. He wants to humiliate me, plan our divorce while eating at my mother-in-law's table. Let him explain his brilliant business plan to a room full of people, including my colleagues and his potential employers. Rachel's grin was wicked. Now, you're talking. Emily picked up her phone. She had calls to make, evidence to gather, and a surprise to plan. Ryan thought she was too busy to notice, too controlled to fight back. He was about to learn exactly how wrong he was. The next morning, Emily moved with surgical precision. Coffee at 6 a.m., lawyer consultation at 7. By 8, she was back at Margaret's door. This time, Margaret's expression held something new, respect. They're in the kitchen, she said simply. Emily found her children eating pancakes, still in pajamas. Mason launched himself at her. Mommy, Grandma made shapes. She held him tight, breathing in his little boy's smell of syrup and innocence. Sophie hung back, watching with two knowing eyes. Pack your things, Emily said brightly. We're going home. Is Daddy coming? Sophie asked. Daddy's staying here for a bit. Because of Chloe? Emily's heart stopped. What do you know about Chloe, sweetheart? She texts Daddy. A lot. With hearts and kissy faces. Sophie's face scrunched. Is she why you and Daddy fight? Oh, baby. Emily pulled her close. Adult relationships are complicated, but none of this is your fault, okay? Margaret appeared with packed bags. I had these ready. Their eyes met. Thank you, Emily said. He's my son, Margaret said quietly. But I'm not blind. Those children deserve better. They deserve the truth. When they're older. Margaret nodded. The guest room is yours if you need it, both of you. Emily understood the weight of that offer. Margaret Carter choosing her daughter-in-law over her son. At home, Emily set the children up with a movie and called Daniel Brooks, her college friend turned cybersecurity expert. It's been ages. How's Wall Street treating you? I need your help, Danny. It's personal. His voice immediately sobered. What do you need? An hour later, Daniel sat in her kitchen, laptop open, expression grim, as she explained everything. Forged signatures, hidden assets, and an affair, he summarized. The trifecta of marital implosion. Can you help? Can I help? He cracked his knuckles. Emily, I've been waiting years to repay you for getting me through advanced calc. Let's see what Romeo's been up to. For the next 2 hours, Daniel worked his magic. What they uncovered exceeded Emily's worst fears. The affair had been going on for 6 months. Ryan had used their joint credit card for hotel rooms, dinners, even a weekend trip to Vermont while Emily thought he was at a conference. This is interesting, Daniel muttered, pulling up corporate records. RC Enterprises was registered 3 months ago. But look at this. Chloe Morrison is listed as co-founder. He made her co-founder of his fake company. Oh, it gets better. Looks like they've already transferred 50 grand to a consulting firm owned by, wait for it, Chloe's uncle, Robert Morrison. The executive Ryan's trying to impress. Bingo. This isn't just an affair. It's a full-blown corruption scheme. Emily stared at the screen. How did I miss this? Hey, Daniel's voice gentled. You trusted your husband. That's not a character flaw. Her phone buzzed. Ryan, where are the kids? Mum says you took them. She ignored it. Another text. We need to talk. This is getting out of hand. Then, don't do anything stupid, Emily. Daniel looked up. Want me to trace his phone? See where Loverboy's been spending his time? Do it. The results were damning. Regular visits to an apartment downtown, Chloe's address, late-night trips to hotels, even a jeweler, probably where he'd bought gifts for his mistress with Emily's money. I have one more trick, Daniel said. Want to see their messages? Part of Emily recoiled, but the larger part, the betrayed wife, the protective mother, nodded. The messages were worse than hotel receipts. Ryan complaining about Emily's work schedule, her success, her inability to just be a wife. Chloe's responses dripped with false sympathy and calculated seduction. Look at this one, Daniel said. 2 weeks ago, once the divorce is final, we can stop hiding. Uncle Robert already has an office picked out for you. Emily read another. She's so focused on her career, she'll never notice the loan. By the time she does, RC Enterprises will be profitable, and I'll pay it back. No harm, no foul. And here's Chloe, Daniel continued. You deserve someone who appreciates your ambition, not someone who overshadows it. Emily's success has emasculated you for too long. Emily felt sick. Can you save all this? Already done. Encrypted and backed up. Daniel closed his laptop. This is enough to bury him. Financial fraud, adultery, conspiracy. I know. Emily's voice was steel. The gala's tonight. I want everything ready. Daniel studied her. You're planning something. He wants to leave me for someone more supportive. Let's see how supportive she is when his crimes are exposed to the very people he's trying to impress. Remind me never to piss you off. Emily smiled grimly. He created this mess, thinking I was too proper to fight dirty. He's about to learn exactly what I'm capable of. That evening, as Rachel helped with the children, Emily stood before her wardrobe. Her fingers brushed past the navy dress Ryan loved, the black cocktail dress he'd bought her last anniversary. She reached for the emerald green gown, the one she'd worn the night she'd made partner, the night Ryan had first shown signs of resentment at her success. Tonight, she'd remind him exactly who he'd underestimated. Her phone buzzed. Ryan again. You're being irrational. Let's handle this privately. She typed back, see you at the gala. The River Plaza conference hall glowed like a jewel against the Boston skyline. Valet attendants rushed between luxury cars while jazz music drifted from within. Emily arrived alone, head high, wearing confidence like armor. She'd spent an hour on her appearance, not for Ryan, but for herself. The emerald dress hugged her curves. Diamond earrings caught the light. She looked like success personified. Emily, darling. Mr. Harrison's wife, Patricia, air-kissed her cheeks. You look absolutely stunning. Where's Ryan? He'll be along, Emily said smoothly. You know how he is about these events? Patricia laughed knowingly. Men and formal wear, like oil and water. Emily circulated, exchanging pleasantries, accepting congratulations on the European deal. All the while her eyes scanned for him. She found them by the bar, Ryan in his best tux, the one she'd had tailored for him. And beside him, a willowy blonde in a black satin dress that probably cost more than most people's rent. Chloe. She was beautiful, Emily admitted. Young, maybe 28. Hungry eyes that swept the room like a predator's. Her hand rested possessively on Ryan's arm. Emily watched as they worked the room. Ryan introduced Chloe to his colleagues, her uncle Robert Morrison holding court near the stage. The promotion Ryan craved dangling like bait. "Ready?" Daniel appeared at her elbow, looking dapper in his tux. "As I'll ever be." "The files are loaded on this USB." He pressed it into her hand. "Everything. Bank records, messages, the works. There's also a PowerPoint if you want to go nuclear." "Perfect." He touched her arm. "You sure about this?" He made his choice. In my mother-in-law's house, while our son had a fever, he chose her. Now he gets to live with the consequences. She moved through the crowd like a shark through water. Ryan saw her coming, his face cycling through surprise, guilt, and finally defiance. "Emily." His voice was carefully neutral. "I didn't think you'd come." "Wouldn't miss it." She smiled brilliantly, then turned to Chloe. "You must be the colleague who sends all those heart emojis." Chloe blinked. "I'm sorry? Oh, didn't Ryan mention? Our daughter saw your messages. Kids today, so tech-savvy." Ryan's face flushed. "Emily, this is Chloe Morrison. I know, co-founder of RC Enterprises. Interesting business model, using my forged signature to fund a company designed to facilitate your affair." The surrounding conversations stuttered to a halt. "Perhaps we should discuss this privately," Ryan hissed. "Why? You didn't feel the need to conduct your affair privately. Why should our divorce be any different?" Robert Morrison stepped forward, his executive presence meant to intimidate. "I'm not sure what you're implying, Mrs. Carter." "I'm not implying anything." Emily pulled out her phone. "I'm stating facts. Your niece has been sleeping with my husband while conspiring to defraud me of $300,000. "That's slander," Chloe sputtered. "Actually, it's fraud, and adultery, and conspiracy." Emily smiled sweetly. "I have the evidence right here. Bank transfers, forged documents, even your little love notes about how my success emasculated him." She turned to the growing crowd. Many were Harrison and Associates employees, her colleagues. Others were from Ryan's company, including the executives he'd hoped to impress. "Ladies and gentlemen, my husband would like you to invest in his new venture. Before you do, perhaps you should know it's built on a foundation of lies and theft." "Emily, stop." Ryan reached for her arm. Daniel stepped between them. "I wouldn't." "Who the hell are you?" Ryan demanded. "The friend who helped her document your crimes. Touch her, and I'll add assault to the charges." Emily pulled out the USB. "Mr. Morrison, I believe your compliance department would be very interested in this. Your niece has been using your name to legitimize a fraudulent enterprise." Morrison's face went pale. "Chloe, Uncle Robert, she's lying." "Am I?" Emily connected the USB to the venue's media system. "Let's see what the evidence says." The screens around the room flickered to life. Bank statements, text messages, the forged loan documents. "Once the divorce is final, we can stop hiding," Emily read from one message. "She's too busy being perfect to notice what we're doing. Emily's success has emasculated you for too long," she continued, reading Chloe's words. "You deserve someone who sees your true potential." The room was dead silent. Emily turned to Ryan, whose face had gone from red to white. "You spent 6 months telling another woman how inadequate I made you feel, how my success diminished you, how being married to me was killing your ambition. Please, did it ever occur to you that your lack of success had nothing to do with me? That maybe, just maybe, it was because you spent more energy resenting me than building something yourself? You don't understand the pressure of being married to someone successful, the horror of having a wife who earned more. You're right, I don't understand. Because I supported you, I encouraged your dreams. I just refused to dim my own light to make you feel brighter." Chloe tried to slink away, but Morrison caught her arm. "We're leaving, now." His voice was ice. "And you can forget about that transfer to New York. Uncle Robert, you've embarrassed me enough, using my name for this scheme. As they left, Ryan stood alone, abandoned by his conspirator, surrounded by colleagues who now saw him as a fraud. "This is what you wanted?" Emily asked quietly. "To humiliate me? To punish me for succeeding? I wanted to matter," he said weakly. "I wanted to be more than Mr. Emily Carter. You were. You were my husband, my partner, the father of my children. That mattered to me. But it wasn't enough." "No," Emily agreed. "It wasn't, because you decided my success meant your failure. You decided my achievements diminished yours. You decided that the solution was to tear me down rather than build yourself up." She pulled out an envelope. "Divorce papers. You'll find the terms more than fair, considering the circumstances." "Emily, I could press charges, fraud, forgery, theft. But I won't, for our children's sake. Sign the papers, stay away from our accounts, and we can end this cleanly." Ryan took the envelope with shaking hands. Around them the gala continued, but in their bubble, a marriage officially ended. "I loved you," Emily said simply, "even when you stopped loving yourself." She turned to leave, but he called out, "What about the kids? They'll be fine. Children need parents who respect themselves and each other. We can't give them that together anymore." 6 months later, Emily stood on the balcony of her new apartment, smaller than the house, but filled with light and laughter. No shadows of resentment, no echoes of arguments. "Mom, Mason won't share the paints," Sophie called. "Yes, I will. I just need the blue first." 5 more minutes, then dinner," Emily called back. Her phone rang. "Daniel." "Hey, stranger," she answered. "How's Singapore?" "Humid, profitable, missing good coffee," he paused. "How are you?" "Good. Better than good, actually." "And the promotion?" Emily smiled. "Senior Vice President Carter has a nice ring to it." Knew they'd recognize brilliance when they saw it. And Ryan, living with his mother, the business loan defaulted. Surprise, surprise. Last I heard, he was working at a consulting firm, mid-level position. Karma's a bitch. Karma's fair. He's learning to succeed on his own merits, not on stolen money and fabricated connections. And the kids? Adjusting. They see him weekends. He's actually becoming a better father now that he's not trying to compete with me. Silver linings. Daniel's voice softened. "And you? Really?" Emily considered. "I'm learning that success doesn't require apology, that achievement isn't diminishment, that loving someone doesn't mean shrinking yourself." "About time." "Yeah, well, some lessons come hard. Speaking of which, I'll be back in Boston next month." "Dinner?" Emily smiled. "Dinner sounds perfect." After hanging up, she went inside to find her children covered in paint, creating masterpieces on canvas and themselves. "Look, Mama." Mason held up his painting. "It's our new home." 3 stick figures stood before a bright yellow building, holding hands under a rainbow. "It's beautiful, sweetheart." Sophie looked up from her more detailed work. "Mom, are you happy now?" Emily knelt between them, pulling them close. "Yes, baby, I'm happy." "Because Daddy's gone?" "No, because we're honest now. All of us, Daddy included." "Will you marry Daniel?" Sophie asked with 7-year-old directness. Emily laughed. "We're just friends." "He makes you smile different," Sophie observed. "Better than Daddy did." Out of the mouths of babes. That night, after bedtime stories and goodnight kisses, Emily sat at her computer working on the quarterly report. But for the first time in years, work didn't feel like escape. It felt like purpose. Her phone chimed. A text from Rachel. "Wine Wednesday tomorrow?" Then another from Daniel. "Found a place that claims to make real espresso. Highly suspicious. Must investigate upon return." And one more from an unknown number. She almost deleted it, then saw the preview. "Emily, this is Chloe." She opened it fully. "I owe you an apology. What I did was wrong. I was young and ambitious, and I convinced myself it was love. But you were right. I was just another way for him to avoid facing himself. I'm sorry." Emily stared at the message, then deleted it. Some chapters deserved to be closed completely. Outside, Boston glittered with promise. Somewhere in the city, Ryan was probably staring at the same skyline, perhaps finally understanding that success wasn't about diminishing others. It was about elevating yourself. And somewhere else, a plane carried Daniel back from Singapore, back to possibilities yet unexplored. But here now, Emily Carter sat in her own space, built by her own efforts, surrounded by her own choices. No apologies, no diminishment, no compromise, just truth, just strength, just beginning. The partners' meeting at Harrison and Associates ran late, but Emily didn't mind. These days, time moved differently, purposefully rather than frantically. Excellent work on the merger, Carter. Mr. Harrison nodded approvingly. The Japanese were impressed. Team effort, Emily deflected graciously. Leadership effort, he corrected. Which brings me to our next point. Her phone vibrated. School pickup in 30 minutes. I'll need to table that discussion, she said smoothly. School commitment. The old Emily would have stayed, would have arranged last-minute childcare, would have prioritized the meeting. The new Emily knew better. At Riverside Elementary, she found Mason and Sophie waiting with their teacher, both clutching art projects. "Mommy!" Mason ran to her. "We made family trees!" Emily studied his work, a creative interpretation featuring stick figures and dinosaurs. "And you included Rex." She noted the T-Rex labeled Uncle Daniel. "He's not really a dinosaur," Mason explained seriously, "but he's really tall." Sophie rolled her eyes. "He's Mom's boyfriend, dummy." "Sophie." "Sorry, he's Mom's boyfriend, Mason." Emily bit back a smile. 6 months of dating and the kids had adapted faster than the adults. At home, the routine unfolded comfortably. Homework, dinner prep, the doorbell. "Daniel!" Both kids abandoned their tasks. He stood in the doorway, still in his business suit but holding a suspicious box from their favorite bakery. "Bribery," Emily asked, accepting his kiss. "Strategic alliance building," he corrected, then whispered, "How'd the partner meeting go?" "Tabled it for school pickup." His smile was proud. "That's my girl." They'd fallen into this pattern naturally, Daniel joining family dinners, helping with bedtime routines, becoming part of their rhythm without forcing it. Later, after the kids were asleep, they sat on the balcony with wine. "Ryan called today," Emily mentioned casually. Daniel tensed slightly. "And?" "Sophie's recital. He wanted to confirm the time." "That's progress?" "He's trying. Even brought his new girlfriend to the last soccer game. She seems nice, age-appropriate, employed, not plotting any financial crimes." Daniel laughed. "The bar's pretty low." "Maybe, but he's clearing it now. Actually showing up, actually engaging. The kids need that." "And you're okay with it?" Emily considered. "I don't need him to be a bad father just because he was a terrible husband. The kids deserve better than that." "Have I mentioned you're remarkable?" "Once or twice." They sat in comfortable silence, city lights twinkling below. "I have something to tell you," Daniel said eventually. Emily's stomach clenched. Old habits died hard. "The Singapore office wants me to head up the new Boston branch." Relief flooded through her. "That's wonderful. It means I'll be here permanently. No more long distance, no more—" He stopped. "But it also means taking things to another level, moving forward, and I need to know if you're ready for that." Emily set down her wine. "Define another level." He pulled out a key. "I found a place. Bigger. 4 bedrooms, great schools nearby, separate home offices." He paused. "Room for everyone." "Daniel, I'm not Ryan. I don't need to compete with your success. I celebrate it. I don't want to change you. I love who you are. And I'd never—" He took a breath. "I love your kids. I love our life. I love you." Emily looked at the key, then at him. The kids already asked their permission. Mason demanded a backyard for Rex. Sophie requested a proper art studio. Both insisted on bunk beds for sleepovers. "You asked my children before asking me? They're part of this too." package deal, remember? Emily laughed, then kissed him. Yes, yes, yes to all of it. The house, the future, the complicated, beautiful mess of blending our lives. He slipped the key into her hand. Partners? Equal partners, she confirmed. 6 months ago, she'd stood on this same balcony, rebuilding from betrayal. Now she stood here choosing love, not the desperate, diminishing kind that demanded sacrifice, but the steady, strengthening kind that encouraged growth. Her phone buzzed. Ryan. Congratulations on the promotion. Sophie told me you deserve it. Simple, sincere, free of bitterness. She showed Daniel, who nodded. Growth all around. Think we should invite him to the housewarming? That might be pushing it. Emily smiled. Baby steps. The city sparkled below, full of promise and possibility. Somewhere out there, Ryan was learning to build his own success. Somewhere else, Chloe was probably chasing new ambitions. But here, in this moment, Emily Carter had everything she'd never known she wanted. Success without apology, love without competition, and a future built on truth rather than pretense. Ready for bed? Daniel asked. In a minute. She leaned against him, savoring the peace. Just want to appreciate this. This? All of it. The night, the quiet, the knowing that tomorrow will be complicated and chaotic and absolutely perfect. He kissed her temple. That's a lot of appreciation. I'm a lot of woman. Yes, he agreed. You absolutely are. And for the first time in her life, Emily Carter felt no need to apologize for it. What did you think of Emily's journey? If her story of strength, betrayal, and triumph moved you, comment brave below. Share this with someone who needs to remember their worth. Have you ever had to choose between keeping quiet and standing up for yourself? Tell us in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories of courage, resilience, and redemption. Where are you watching from? Let us know. USA, Europe, Asia, or anywhere else in the world. Your support helps us share these powerful stories with people who need to hear them. Remember, you deserve a love that celebrates your success, not one that resents it. You deserve a partner who builds with you, not someone who tears you down. You deserve the truth, always. Until next time, keep standing tall, speaking your truth, and never dimming your light for anyone.